Welcome to your virtual shopping tour. So when it comes to breads, if they're sitting on the shelf, that means that they have additives and preservatives. If I was going to pick something, I would go for the sourdough bread here, but none of this is either really core plan or advanced plan. If you're going to do core plan, you could do something like the sprouted grain Ezekiel breads. Other than that, nothing here really is advanced plan except for possibly these egg wraps. But I'll show you a better option when we move around. So when it comes to animal products, any animal products, you're going to want to get grass-fed, organic at a minimum. Before we get over there though, hummus, you want to make sure that you check your labels because a lot of times there are oils like canola oil. So you want to stick with things like olive oil. So just read your labels, check your ingredients. And then over here, you can go with the Organic Valley or even the Sprouts brand cheese. You will save a little money if you shred cheese yourself. So I'll show you that section in a minute. I want to talk for just a minute about kombucha because it can be healthy because it's fermented. But when you're reading these labels, you want to make sure that if there's sugar on the label, that it's inside of the parentheses. When it's inside of the parentheses, it is what is used to ferment the kombucha. If it's outside of the parentheses, or if there's fruit juices in it, there's going to be a lot of sugar. If I do kombucha, I will only drink a tiny bit of it at a time, not the whole jar. Okay, here's the cheese section. You're going to want to look for grass-fed cheese. So you can see the Kerrygold brand here. There's a couple of others. So again, just read your labels. When it comes to those animal products, you want to make sure that you're buying them organically and naturally raised, like grass-fed, free range. Okay, in the case here, as you guys know, we don't recommend eating pork, but they have things like chicken and turkey sausage. Again, you just want to check your ingredients to make sure that there's no sugar or strange oils. So there's a couple of options there. You have pasture-raised ground chicken here, grass-fed beef liver. I know some of you guys love that, but we have that in our new Foundational 3. And then over here, this is organic ground beef, but I'm going to show you a better option. And honestly, I would pass by any of this plant-based products because if you look at the ingredients, there's a laundry list of ingredients that are not always healthy. In the fish section, you want to make sure that you're getting wild-caught fish. And the larger the fish, the more prone it is to toxins. So personally, I steer away from things like tuna that are really, really large. But you can see wild sockeye salmon, wild-caught mahi-mahi. You want to stay away from the farm-raised because they're in tight quarters and you can't be certain of what they are feeding the fish. Shellfish, we do not recommend. Okay, over here in the beef section, you want to be looking for things that say 100% grass-fed, even better if it says grass finish. But you can see there's several different cuts here, and you see the difference between the green label and this USDA choice. So you always want to go for the 100% grass-fed. This is a 100% grass-fed rack of lamb. This cooks really, really fast in the oven, just with some olive oil and rosemary and garlic. Delicious. This is a really quick grab and go type of thing. They also have lamb chops here. You can get ground beef. Again, you want to look for the grass-fed ground beef. And then when it comes to chicken, you can see that there's organic chicken and then there's this all natural. So given the choice between the two, we're going to go for the organic ground turkey, ground chicken. They even have organic wings, thighs, breasts. Pastured bird here. This, if I have the choice between these two, I'm going with the pasture bird because they're pasture raised versus just organic. So again, this isn't a horrible choice, but if given a better choice, I would choose this. And then over here, we don't recommend pork bacon, but you could do turkey bacon. And you can see on this label it says sugar-free turkey bacon. You want to make sure that there are no nitrites either. Up here there's several options for turkey and chicken sausages, grass-fed beef hot dogs. These are really great for lunches, super fast, clean ingredients. This one you can see is 100% grass-fed, Applegate Farms. So just read your labels, get your go-tos that you like, keep them on hand in your fridge or freezer, and you'll never go wrong. When it comes to produce, follow the EWG food guide that shows you which items you need to buy organically and which ones have the most pesticides. Those are the ones you want to buy organic, and which ones you can buy conventionally where the pesticide loads are much less. So I'm not going to go through each one, but you can go through that guide. They have several selections of organic greens, which you do want to buy organically. If you want to make sure you always have something on hand and not have fresh produce in, you can always get, these are cauliflower florets here. You can get mixed vegetables, asparagus, green beans, organic green beans. So you can keep these on hand to have for recipes. You can even buy things like riced cauliflower, which is great for making recipes. Of course, you're going to save money if you make this yourself, but if you're worried about having things on hand and prepping things ahead of time, just have them in your fridge. Great things to have on hand are frozen berries for your morning smoothies. These are organic from small farms. You're looking for this non-GMO label plus organic. This is certified sustainable family farm. So these are great things to have in your freezer on hand for making your morning smoothies, which are super easy. You can also use these to make like a syrup. You just boil down the berries and the pectins in them, make them into a syrup if you cook them long enough. Back to animal products. You want to make sure that you're getting grass-fed organic animal products. And with yogurts, you have to watch out for sugars and added sweeteners. So I would hone in on something like this, 100% grass-fed, A2 organic plain yogurt. Nancy's has a brand, I think Stonyfield has grass-fed. So just read your labels, stay away from any of the flavorings. You can flavor it yourself with some of those frozen berries I just showed you, or a little bit of stevia, or some even healthy granola, which I'll show you soon. You could also opt for coconut milk yogurt. Again, just read your labels, stay away from the sugar and the flavorings. If you are dairy intolerant and you want to use something like almond milk, make sure you're reading the ingredients and that you're getting plain, unsweetened, so that it doesn't have, here's one that's unsweetened original. Stay away from things like Oatly because they have actually seed oils in them. You can look at the label and see that there's clearly seed oils in there, so you want to stay away from that. When it comes to creamers as well, you really have to be diligent about reading your labels. These nut pods are unsweetened and have some natural flavors in them, but again, I wouldn't recommend using a lot of those. There's really great options here with the Kerrygold grass-fed butter. There's a couple of different brands too. You can get organic cream cheese, which is great for recipes, organic sour cream, and a really great thing to do is to get cottage cheese. So this Good Culture cottage cheese, which is organic, you see the USDA organic, but that's a really great source of protein that you can use for breakfasts or lunches. You can also add them to eggs, blend them up together, and they make like a sous vide type of egg, really creamy and delicious. Highly recommend. As far as juices go, it's really difficult because most of them are loaded with sugars. It's really hard to find juice, especially on the advanced plan. If you're going to do it, I would recommend doing grapefruit juice. You can see there's a little shortage on eggs here, but you want to be looking for free-range organic eggs. Pasture-raised is another great thing to look for. The dairy section seems to go on, but you could do something like kefir, which is a fermented type of dairy product. You can see you want to get the plain kefir. This one is from grass-fed cows. Has a little bit of a sour taste to it. It's actually really, really delicious. Highly recommend that. You can also do like this one from grass-fed cows, organic cream top whole milk. They have a couple others here that are grass-fed. You can see this one is grass-fed. You want to stick with the whole milk. Again, we want to be as close to the source as possible, unadulterated, comes out of the cow as whole milk. When you start skimming off the fat to 2% and skim 1%, then you are losing a lot of that fat that helps mitigate the natural sugars. So you want to go with whole milk. Here's a grass milk, Organic Valley. Lots of options here. A great way to make what you think is bland food better is to spice it up. So you can get organic spices. They have the Himalayan salt here that is really great. Nutritional yeast is great to have on hand. It has kind of a cheesy taste without the dairy. I use that in recipes quite a bit. But you can get really creative with recipes here. And as we go down the line, there's some things here that if it's labeled keto, it should be advanced plan approved, but you can use things like almond flour as a replacement for flour to make things like pancakes or cakes or muffins. Also down here is the sweeteners that you could use. So monk fruit is really great. The swerve is made with erythritol, so there's brown sugar, there's confectioner's sugar, and there's regular granulated type that mimics sugar that's a 1-to-1. There's stevia here and monk fruit as well. If you have to keep things on hand, great for smoothies, things like that. You can keep some coconut milk or some almond milk in your pantry in these Tetra Paks, but be sure to read your labels. As I tell you guys all the time, there's really no healthy breakfast bars, granola bars, things like that, especially on the advanced plan. However, over here, there are a few. There's a grain-free granola up here, and the New Trail is also advanced plan approved. These Catalina Crunches are too. You just want to make sure that you're not overloading on these things because they do still have carbohydrates and they are more of like a snack type food. Every time I do a shopping tour, I get the question, what about ice cream? So don't eat this all the time, but I'm going to show you these so delicious with the teal tops there. There's a vanilla and a mint chip. Sometimes they have another flavor as well. Those are sweetened with erythritol. So, and it's made with coconut milk. So those are advanced plan approved. I don't recommend eating a whole pint of it at a time, but it will satisfy that sweet tooth if you really feel like you need. Okay, this is one of my favorite sections because these little guys are loaded with healthy fats, mostly omega-3s. So wild sardines, used to hate them, now I love them, but you want to look for ones that are in olive oil. You can also go for anchovies, which if you don't like anchovies, try this trick. You take a little bit of olive oil, do not heat it up too much, put the anchovies in there, light heat, and they melt away. You can put them over broccoli is especially good, over other vegetables, or you can dip some of the advanced plan crackers that I'm about to show you. Okay, when it comes to pasta, that's usually a no-go, but you will see some different options that if you really want to try, you could. These hearts of palm type of spaghetti, you could use those. There's some, the banza is made with chickpeas, and I worry about glyphosate with those. Sometimes they have another brand called Tolerant. I don't see it here today. They seem to be out of it quite a bit, but you can look for that as well. And then when it comes to the sauces, just really read your ingredients. You have to watch out for sugar because tomatoes are somewhat acidic, so they will throw some sugar in there, but Rao's brand is pretty good. That's one of my favorite ones. Salad dressings are notoriously bad, usually full of sugar, damaged oil, and toxins. But on this row here, you're pretty safe. Bragg's, Tessemae's, Primal Kitchen are all really great brands, and you can see they have a lot of different flavors. Make sure you're picking up and look at the ingredients, because although these are really great brands, sometimes they change the ingredients on us. Vinegars, really great. Apple cider vinegar is awesome to make your own salad dressing, but balsamic, white wine vinegar, any of these vinegars are going to be great to jazz up your meals. Now, when it comes to oils, avocado oil, obviously I recommend. You can use things like sesame oil and olive oil, but you don't want to heat them up. You want extra virgin olive oil. Ideally, you have it in something where light can't get into it. Like these cans and these dark bottles are okay, but you really want to make sure that you get a reputable brand. These are great for adding to salads or for snacking on pickles and olives and banana peppers, pepperoncinis. All of these things are really great. Now, when it comes to things like condiments, you just really have to check your labels, but mustards, they have avocado, mayonnaise. You have to check and make sure there's no other oils in there though, and no sugars. So lots of options here. Primal Kitchen is one of my favorite brands. Coconut aminos are great. It tastes like soy sauce. Liquid aminos in a pinch is really good as well. Marinades and sauces are tricky as well, but you'll see this one, Noble Made, is pretty good, but it says less sugar, but it doesn't have no sugar. This Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce is no sugar. They also have some marinades and things like that. So really hard when you're looking at tomato sauces and things like that to find no sugar, but just become a good label reader. If you're worried about giving up your bread, this is an option for you. So Siete brand has these cassava and almond flour tortillas. They stay in the freezer till you're ready to use them, or you can keep them in your fridge for about a week. And you can make them into wraps, tortillas. You could fill them with taco seasoned meats. They're really, really great to have on hand. Okay, we're up to the international food section, and it's really easy to make your own type of taco seasonings, but in a pinch you can get this Siete brand if you need to. Mateo's is one of my favorite brands. They have, this is a taco sauce, but they also have the salsa down here. That's one of my favorites. Watch out for sugars in these things. They also have these condiments, so that's a really good brand to use. When it comes to soups, be really, really careful. You have to check all those ingredients. It's much easier to just make your own soup. And then when it comes to beef broths, Kettle and Fire brand is really, really good. And this one you can see they have some that are flavored here. Organic, Kettle and Fire bone broth, beef broth. They have the large and the small. I keep these on hand and use them a lot for making soups, for adding to recipes. They are terrific. And then over here you have your canned beans, which you can do in moderation on the advanced plan. You do want to try to get organic, especially things like chickpeas, because they are notoriously known for being high in glyphosate. You're going to want to stay away from rice on the advanced plan, but on the core plan, you can get, I like the, organic, non-GMO, sustainable rice, but that would be for core plan only. This is the coconut milk that I like to buy. You want to do full fat. You could do coconut cream or the coconut milk. They're out of the organic right now, but this is great to have on hand for making your smoothies. Has branched chain amino acids in it, which is really healthy for your smoothie. If you are looking for other solutions to bread, you can do these coconut wraps to wrap, let's say, some organic deli turkey or veggies in there. You could do that as well. And then over here, we already saw some of this, but they have the liquid aminos over here, and you just have to check ingredients and make sure that there's no strange oils or sugars in any of these condiments. Okay, these meat sticks can be your best friend while on the advanced plan because they're high in protein, They're grass-fed. They have the larger ones here, and they have bags of smaller, more snack-size ones over here. Just keep these on hand. Trust me, they're going to be your best friend. They're really high in protein and a clean, healthy protein. I wanted to show you over here, Capello's makes an almond flour pasta. This one happens to be butternut squash, ravioli, and spinach and cheese. So I wouldn't recommend eating this all of the time, but in a pinch to satisfy a craving, they are great. I love these bona fide broths as well. They are frozen, so you can keep them in your freezer, thaw them out as you need them. So there's no excuses not to have these things on hand. I'm back to Siete brand. They have these tortilla chips. I personally like the dip chips. There's been a run on them here, it looks like, but they have some other flavors, jalapeno lime, nacho, and they have some regular ones as well. So that brand is really great for your tortillas. And as we hop over here, crackers, the Simple Mills almond flour crackers, they have a couple different flavors. Those are really great for snacking with hummus. You could put some peanut butter or almond butter on them and do very well for another snack. Try not to eat the whole box at a time, which is really easy to do. You want to be really careful when it comes to nut butters because the labels can be deceiving. A lot of times, especially if you see something like no stir, that's going to have usually some additional oils and some sugar. Really, you want the only ingredients to be peanuts for peanut butter and almonds for almond butter. You can see this one down here, almond butter. It says only one ingredient, roasted almonds. So that's what you're looking for. Once you find it, you can always just come in here and grab it, but to be sure, you want to look at it. So like this one, unsweetened, crunchy peanut butter versus the no stir one, which you can see is lightly sweetened. So you just want to make sure no additional oils and no sweeteners. People ask me all of the time about coffee, and I drink coffee myself. I'm not going to make people give up their coffee, but you do want to make sure that you're getting organic coffee because of the fact that coffee is also very sprayed with pesticides. So I like these organic ones, the groundwork. You can get them whole bean or you can get them already ground. Over here, healthier sodas. Again, don't drink these all day long, but Zevias are sweetened with stevia, so they're great in a pinch. Lots of different flavors. You could go with the poppy flavored waters. Just make sure the Spindrift that it doesn't have added sugars in there. Teas, organic tea is awesome. All different kinds of flavors, and you can add some stevia if you need to. And then as far as sweet tooths go, our favorite is Lily's chocolate that is sweetened with stevia, so you can see several different flavors here. This store has really great bulk section where you can save some money on things like nuts and seeds. Ideally, you're getting them raw and sprouted. Of course, you can sprout them yourself. You can do roasted in a pinch, and you don't want to be eating too many nuts either because they are hard to digest sometimes unless you are sprouting them, but pistachios are a wonderful snack. I will eat those in a pinch if I need to. Here is a Siete display. You can see they also have the grain-free taco shells, so you could have taco night on the advanced plan and still be healthy and guilt-free. I wanted to loop back with the deli meat, so here they have organic turkey breast and chicken breast. You want to stay away from any of the flavored type of deli meat because they usually have MSG and other flavorings. So stick with the oven roasted organic. You can use them for sandwiches or with eggs. They make a quick and easy lunch. I hope that was helpful. Make your shopping experience enjoyable. Don't overthink it. Make it fun. Try some new things. And I think you guys will really be successful.